Located on the southern slopes of the eastern Himalayas, Bhutan is a small country, tucked between India and Tibet. The large majority of the population practices Vajrayana Buddhism. The legend says that in the 8th century, Guru Rinpoche, the second Buddha, manifested in Dorje Drolo's wrathful form, in order to subdue the malevolent local spirits. Buddhism was thus established in Bhutan. Bhutan is a peaceful country, where the gross national product, emblematic of the global economic culture, was substituted by the gross national happiness, as early as 1972. The gross national happiness takes into account the actual quality of life of the population by integrating a well-being index informed by a holistic understanding of human beings. Bhutan's Prime Minister Jigme Thinley once said, "In this era of global environmental devastation and cultural destruction, in this time of growing failure and collapse of our global economic order, the world desperately needs an alternative to the materialist obsession." We find numerous sacred places in Bhutan, such as the temple of Paro Taksang, or Tiger's Nest, nested in the rocks at an altitude of over 3,000 meters. Guru Rinpoche reached this place riding a tigress. He composed the sadhana of Mahamudra and completed many retreats in this place. Since the days of Guru Rinpoche, the Buddhist tradition has been passed down in the land of Bhutan from generation to generation, thanks to the kindness and generosity of many great spiritual masters, such as Dudjom Rinpoche or Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, who have worked tirelessly for the preservation of Tibetan Buddhism, with the motivation of benefiting all sentient beings. Among these spiritual masters, we find His Eminence Dzogchen Poloken Rinpoche, a Tibetan master from the region of Kham in eastern Tibet. Poloken Rinpoche was recognized as an emanation of Vimalamitra, a renowned Indian master from the 8th century, who worked closely with Guru Rinpoche and Vajrayana to spread the Dzogchen teachings in Tibet. When the Chinese invaded Tibet, Poloken Rinpoche escaped and found refuge in India. He was then invited to Bhutan by some of his students. The king of Bhutan, who recognized his great qualities, gave him asylum, as well as a place to practice. With his immense clairvoyance, Poloken Rinpoche prophesied that Bhutan would become a highly important place for the preservation of the Buddhist teachings. Whilst they appeared in India, the Buddhist teachings later mostly disappeared there. Though they had also spread to Tibet, they have suffered tremendously from the Chinese occupation. In Nepal, the political situation is very unstable. Thus, the peaceful political situation in Bhutan, as well as the king's and people's great devotion to Buddhism, have made the country a most significant place for the preservation of the Buddhist teachings. Poloken Rinpoche prophesied that the construction of a Dudul Stupa, a stupa to subdue demons, in the southern region of the medicinal land of Bhutan named Gelephu, would ensure the continuous subsistence of the Buddha's precious teachings, as well as the long life of the masters who hold them. It will also increase happiness and well-being in the world. Lama Tsewang was born in Bhutan in 1956. Since very young, he has been dedicating his life to Buddhism and the practice of compassion towards all sentient beings. He has received initiations and transmissions of the teachings of the 4 schools of Tibetan Buddhism, notably from his root masters Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, Dodrupchen Rinpoche, Penor Rinpoche, Gangten Tulku Rinpoche, and Poloken Rinpoche. In line with the prophecy, Lama Tsewang Dorje, one of the disciples of Poloken Rinpoche, realized what an immense loss it would be, were the meaning of these predictions to disappear. Animated by a profound respect for his root teacher and his prophecy, Lama Tsewang generated the firm intention to benefit the teachings and sentient beings by committing to the concretization of the project. Subsequently, other great masters such as His Eminence Gangten Rinpoche gave him their support. On December 16, 2009, Bhutan's Ministry of Culture and Religious Affairs recognized the significance of His Eminence Poloken Rinpoche's prophecy in an official communiqué, therefore offering the land of Gelephu for the construction of the peace stupa. In order to further support this endeavor, the ministry has also been coordinating and supervising the project. It put together the budget as well as a 5-steps plan for its realization, the first and most important step being the construction of the stupa itself, including the edification of an inner temple. Well aware of the impermanence of all phenomena, Lama Tsewang decided to sell all his possessions, including his land, in order to start the construction of the stupa. With the approval of His Eminence Gangten Rinpoche, Lama Tsewang came to Europe in 1998 to teach the Dharma in the Yeshe Kolo Buddhist Center. He stayed there 13 years. Since 2011, and with the ongoing support of His Eminence Gangten Rinpoche, Lama Tsewang came back to Bhutan to live in a most simple straw house on the very site of the construction of the stupa, so as to be fully engaged with its completion.
미세제 라삼로 땅 요래 나랑 속이 애기는 개원이 손때 치와 되게 요래 치와 예배가서 다당 나랑 속 예배가 개와 가래 좀내야 소세게 라파 소세게 라원 예배가 개와 좀더 약속 길라텐다 이 되게 전서 삼로 망보치 땅에 이 담모진 게 시제다 템바다 템체기 되고 이 미체된 레버시기 온된 तातो तीन चीजें जो बहुत ही है कि बहुत ही काफी ताता मारायां तेता दी चीजें की ताबो दी ताता तेता चीजें की यो है ताता ये कामो तेबो सी जब संवाई ना कामो दी ला ती तो सामान को तो भी तो कामो ताता कोगी मिंदो तेता तेता तब से दूसरी तब से मीता को ये माने सोंते तामारा तो लगा दी ने तेनी चीवा ता केबी तामा तेबो तेता यो है ती कुंते ताता ये ती चीजें 보통네 나타나는 게 최대한 되게 그렇게 하라 되게 진짜 되게 되는 거로 되게 이거만이 침지 방법적인 거 되게요. 가래도 그렇게 소통하고 나는 게 최대한 방법이죠. 최대한 마땅한 인기 다 관점만 땅바인 마음발라 말라 되는 거라게 펜바다 침 바야 요마도 뒤인지다 말라 되는 펜바 연락원에 다다 펜바게 펜지기 연락원에 다다 이제 나랑이 예바가래 예바디 대다탐 치팅이 도나 땅기요. 디인데 당나랑이 끝나가랑이 다 사연에다 나랑이 주연에다 가래 연에 예바디 대다탐이 성내 소소함 치팅이 도나 땅기요. 알아 대문이 semana semana 되니 펜당 저거만 제 방향요 말에 메나야 나랑 펜디기 이 방향 예바디 대다탐이 치팅이 도나 아무튼 샘지기 전에 템바다 샘지기 전에 삼모다 니바지 아무튼 시지기 전에 삼모다 나로 삼모다 거래 연내 이거부터 되게 좀 땅이래 상당히 땅이 번지기 되고지다 시진제 관되는 말 고순 단답부터 디갈레 피오데 이인데 담만 시진기 전에 말아 찍지마도 무슨 수양하라고 시키는 거 말이야 그게 좀 깔레 좀 준비해요 앞으로 소유나야 소세기 미타과 삼로타 소세기 등 알아서 페르는 알아서 지티 담보등기 텔당 런치 가리 미치라 예바이나야 텔라 치비카포네 알아서 쿠르주 방야 요 말에 페르는 알아서 갑자기 큐바사이는 쿠르주 요 말에 다 치비카포네 가레도 그랬더니 소세기 레당 제볼라테네 도고레 다당 알아서 레 사과이나 레 레타 콜라테는 예수님의 동일라 동인용으로 되는 대부 개와 사과에는 개와라 되는 말하는 게 대부의 토리 좀 도야요. 개인도 다소다 소위나요. 소소기 미다 바탐로 단에 말하는 거기다 그다 모든 게 제제다 때마다 템되게 되나 제제되나다 간주 지조 간주시 또다 그다 소위내야 되라. 로코지 돈이 잡고
Conceived to last at least 1,000 years, this stupa will contribute to world peace and to the happiness of future generations. Stupas represent the wisdom and compassion of the Buddha's enlightened mind. Their construction brings as much benefits as making offerings to the very body, speech and mind of the Buddha, which is immeasurable. This doodle stupa will pacify conflicts, discords and obstacles. It will accomplish wishes in this life and the next, thus bringing peace and happiness. It is a perfect and traditional support for spiritual practice and gives countless benefits to the beings who see it, hear about it, or participate in its construction. This stupa will be filled with mantras, extraordinary relics, various precious and sacred substances, as well as a myriad of special varieties of plants and flowers, along with water and earth collected throughout the world. This is the College of Philosophical Studies. Based on the wisdom that arises as a result of the insight into the workings of our minds, Buddhism upholds values such as tolerance, openness, and compassion. The schooling of the children will therefore largely be inspired by an education that respects the cultural foundations of Bhutan and also supports academic achievement. The school will be able to accommodate 215 students and teachers, with boarding available for the children and housing for the teachers. It will give access to primary, secondary and higher education. This school will also offer free education for unprivileged children coming from poor families and living in isolated areas of Bhutan. In this way, a complete schooling will be given, both traditional and modern at the same time. Measuring 43 meters high and 21 meters wide, the main stupa is the very heart of this project and will liberate upon seeing. It will contain a 3-story temple to accommodate over 400 people and where daily practices and rituals will be conducted. Furthermore, 8 smaller stupas will be erected on the same site to mark the main stages of the Buddha's life, all 8 meters high. In this extraordinary place, a retirement home for elderly people coming from unprivileged backgrounds will be also built. It will welcome over 100 residents from all horizons. A retreat center will be built 500 meters above the main site for the traditional 3 years, 3 months and 3 days retreats. It will be available to students who have completed their school studies and also to those coming from outside, who wish to deepen their knowledge and understanding of Buddhism. Throughout the construction of the stupa, Lama Tsewang made sure to practice pacification rituals in order to dispel obstacles. Weeks of practices and rituals have already been conducted place on the site of the project, thus bringing together many people both from the region and from distant places. For instance, in early 2015, Namkha Rinpoche, Nyingmapa master and spiritual guide of the Rigzin community, came together with many monks and lay practitioners to perform a Dorje Drolo Drupche. In February 2015, Gangten Tulku Rinpoche, recognized as the reincarnation of Pema Lingpa, as well as 70 monks from Gangten Monastery, gathered inside the stupa's inner hall to perform a Vajrakilaya Drupche for 9 days. On the day of the initiation, over 1,000 people amassed inside the stupa and another 500 outside. The 70 monks, as well as another 300 people, recited Vajrakilaya mantra every day. Since 2009, several ceremonies and rituals have been performed. The opening ceremony took place on December 18, 2009, whereby the land was consecrated before the start of the construction. On December 25 to 27, 2009, the ceremony to bless the land was performed along with offerings to satisfy the Nagas and to dispel obstacles. Over 100 people gathered for the occasion, including the prefect, monks and inhabitants of the region. On March 5, 2011, the site was blessed by Je Kengpo Jigme Choda. A few days later, Bhutan's Minister of Home and Culture Affairs laid down the first stone, accompanied by His Eminence Gangten Rinpoche. Since 2011, much construction work has been done. The 3 transverse walls, as well as the wall that overhangs the river in order to protect the site from floods, the foundational paving stone and the 16 pillars of the stupa and its ground floor have all been completed. In 2014, the first floor's paving stone was constructed. As you can see it here, the rest of the first floor is currently under construction.
Chabje polo ken rinpoche longten drubi nipa ngala me yinang longten di gelchepura tongte leka gosok dune Chinchi sola babchan sagi me kencho sumge tindu kyalan tamche shibayin. O dering namlo nikton chonga chida drupe se nisho sa dronin ujin guru rinpoche chongkar tuichindan drel maon longten drubi chidu sikdin soldep drayang tok ujin guru rinpoche chantang shibayin. Longnin zingmi pomo yongla lisim dewa chungi rewa yu.
The omniscient Polokan Rinpoche has prophesied the importance of erecting this great stupa that liberates upon seeing, in order for the Buddhist teachings to remain ever long-lasting, to preserve world peace and to bring happiness to all sentient beings. Lama Tsewang, seeing the importance of this prophecy, has started this project and reached until now on second floor. If there is any donator who comes up in 2015, his name will be engraved on a stone of the stupa. In 2018, the entire project shall be accomplished. At the end of the year 2018, a Drupchen ceremony of 15 days in the stupa itself will be organized. At this moment, 5 great masters will preside the rituals, one in each of the 4 temples of the stupa, plus one in the monastic college. There will be a total of 200 monks practicing as well. All the donators will be invited to come to this precious ritual and to perform the dedication prayer together with the great masters that will be present. In this way, Guru Rinpoche said that there is no doubt that the donators will be born in the Pure Land in their next life. Solo